The topic is military intervention in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So, withdraw all troops immediately, stop using aid as a tool of war, and support diplomatic negotiations with all Afghanistan parties. Now, I do say stop using aid as a tool of war. I do support diplomatic negotiations with all Afghanistan parties. And I do say that our troops should stop being used for combat. But I do worry about immediate withdrawal because we do have real aid services on the ground there. So I couldn't support the withdrawal of our troops immediately.
Okay. So do you see another one that's closer to you, to your thinking or your position?
You know, I would support this one as long as it doesn't say immediately. I do think at some point we want to withdraw our forces from Afghanistan. But I think we do need to keep it. Let's see. We do want to withdraw from a combat role, but we also want to make sure that aid services, that aid there is properly delivered. And unfortunately, the aid workers
would that be close to you? I agree with our present foreign policy of intervention. We made promise to the Afghan government and people to help protect and rebuild. That we cannot back away from.
You know, I will click on that. It's
closer to what you.
But it's not our present. Unfortunately, our present foreign policy of intervention is not. I don't really agree with our present foreign policy because there are problems in that.
Okay. Then why don't you put on your own words here? Where it says, add
my
a
own choice,
and then you don't have to accept somebody else's wording.
Let's see. Yes, that's what we'll do.
And there's withdraw from combat. Okay, so you're at 1%?
I am at 1% right now.
All right, but now if other people that are watching this interview and like that, they're going to be encouraged to go and register and also
I hope
vote.
so. I hope they support me on that one. I think it's a good one.
And then there's only 83 people that have registered their vote, so, you know, if you have 100 people that support your choice will automatically move to the top of the list. So, all right, thank you very much for. You want to go and see some other on federal polls?
Sure, let's see what we have on federal polls here.
We have
electoral issues. I like electoral issues.
All right.
I've seen the perpetual electoral system. My only problem is that I'm afraid that people will start paying people to switch their votes and.
They do that in elections, don't they?
Yeah, they do, but it's easier. It's easier. I could throw in a big music concert and have everyone change their vote at the music concert after a few beers, and that's my challenge with that.
But you would need a majority to change.
Oh, I can throw in some big concerts.
Well, the people with deep pockets do that now on elections day.
Yeah.
So this would be a perpetual elections.
Yeah.
So they would have to be convincing you every day to keep your vote there.
I think that would make it open to a lot of money getting involved in the system, and I know already how expensive an election is, and if I was a party, I would just pay people to go door to door and asking them, pay people to go door to door continuously asking them. At least during an election period, people are talking about the issues, and I'm afraid on that one.
So you don't like that one. Is there another one that you would like in that term of office?
Term of office.
Would you vote for any other one, any other choice?
Well, I like...
fixed elections with 4-year term.
Well, that's what we've got now. I will select that. I think there needs to be some serious changes in our democracy. Let's go United Nations. Let's see what's on our UN Security Council.
Okay. Other Security Council and UN Assembly assumes power of international security.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add my own choice to this because I think we should move to a parliamentary. Let's go add a parliamentary there.
And it says add a parliamentary assembly represented by people directly elected from around the world. Okay.
Yeah.
And you voted. You changed your vote.
Did I change my vote on there? Yep, I got 1% on that one now too.
All right.
I'm the minority so far, but we'll see what happens here.
The world federalists are going to have to be encouraged to go in and vote for that because that is one of the issues that they are promoting.
Yeah. Let's look at environment. Let's see what we've got on the environment. Okay. And see national practices. Legislate polluters tax. Oh, here we go. I'm going to click on this one because I do support a polluter's tax. Wait, actually, legislate to industry and transport. Yeah,
You can vote, and if later on you change your mind, you can also change your vote.
Oh, okay.
So you're not stuck with that vote.
Yeah.
That's why it's called perpetual
democracy. Yeah.
Because you can change it.
I like perpetual democracy on the issues. I think that's important for people. I don't know if if we move to this system, we might not even need to have people representing to elect MPs.
Facilitators only, not to make decisions for you, but to facilitate the majority's will.
That's what we need, and people in Parliament don't really know and don't ask how their constituents are voting, and that's what what we need to do is put in place the tools so that those who are elected know how we as constituents feel on the issues. Right. I don't think we need to switch the parliamentarians out every time. We need to show them how to vote. They need our help.
What if the parliamentarian is not doing what the people tell in the polls officials?
Well, then we'll have to work on some ways to pull it back.
You have another immigration you want to talk about, because that's a federal issue, immigration.
Sure.
You want special circumstances?
Let's find out what special.
It's conscientious objectors. There's a lot of soldiers that are coming from the United States and they're looking for refuge here. And I wonder what your position would be in regards to these refugees from social conscious refugees.
Well, I think I would like to see, and I'm going to kind of move my support down to granted temporary residence until it's safe to return to home and be reevaluated.
Okay.
I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, and we know that even in the States, political system change. This November we're going to have a different president. We'll probably have different foreign policies, and I think a lot of people who may have come out from Canada, they just wanted to, leave until there's a different thing in there. I think that's probably a safe way to go on that.
So you've chosen, can you read that?
Be granted temporary residence until it is safe to return to their home and be reevaluated every 2 years.
All right. So that's your answer for that one. You want to go back into the federal or
sure.
even immigration. There is another
where do we go back
in immigration. There is temporary foreign workers. There's a lot of workers in Alberta now and oil sands.
Yeah.
And they're bringing people from different countries in the world because there is some shortage of labor here. I wonder what you think about that.
I think we should, foreign workers should be processed as regular immigrants. Well, I think we should also open it up to people from other countries who don't have proper education systems. So I would love to see us, offer, if we're bringing people in to help work, to also offer them proper education, offer them proper training so that they can take some skills back to their country. We're not just using them as laborers. So I'm going to put my own choice that says if we don't accept them as either treat them as regular immigrants, immigrants, or force companies to offer them fair wages and proper training, proper education and training.
All right. So federal polls, let's see what else would you like to talk about. Military?
Oh, social justice. Let's go justice.
Justice, okay.
All right, let's go with drugs. Let's go with drugs there.
Drugs, illegal drugs should be regulated and legalized, similar to tobacco and alcohol.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose that one.
All right, you think that marijuana should be legal?
Yeah, I think cannabis. I think we need to reform how we treat cannabis. The war on drugs has failed. We know that. Experts know that. It's time to change.
All right, so there is your opinion has been registered, and people can vote for you if they agree with you too.
Sure, you want capital punishment.
That's another federal thing. Is we don't have capital punishment, but I've heard a lot of people saying we should have it.
I'm not one of those people. I'm rejected right out, but right. How can you expect if we're telling criminals that they've got to have a respect for life? If we're telling other countries they need to have a respect for life, we all have to have a respect for life, even if it's people we never want to see again in our society. We still cannot do the state-sanctioned education. I mean, not education, execution.
Okay, you want to check on murder. What's murder in your opinion?
I don't favor legalizing murder. No. Under military operations, it may be necessary and exempted from criminal law. By military order or by contract, should be criminally charged. You know, I do. Yeah, I think that's the case. If someone's in if someone gets fired on, or if somebody holds a gun to a police officer, then a police officer has a right to defend themselves.
Okay.
But that should only be in the last.
So that's the last resort, as defense of last resort.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. Immediately withdraw affiliation with NATO and NORAD.
All right.
Let's see. Defense commitments, affiliations should be reviewed. It is our responsibility to the Western Alliance. I'm going to go with this one. Remain
level-headed.
Yeah, I think NATO. I think if Canada was attacked, NATO. It's NATO. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to attack Canada.
Yeah.
But NATO itself was just in a series of. NATO itself should only be is a treaty. It shouldn't be a force. It shouldn't be a military force going. We need to focus on the United Nations peacekeeping forces.
But you think we need NATO?
I have no problems with it just being as a treaty, but it shouldn't. It should be. But it should be shifting or. The question we have is why do we have 80 Canadians on peacekeeping duties and 3,000 on NATO duties? Why does the United Nations have so much trouble getting peacekeeping forces, yet with a snap of their fingers NATO was able to do put 80,000 troops out, and I think that's where we want to do. So I have that's my issue, is that we need to shift those on there. But I'm kind of tied up beyond there. I do think that NATO has become obsolete, that we do need to revise that. So I'm kind of between these two.
On one hand, you think we should remain with NATO, but on the other hand, we think we should immediately withdraw.
I think we should.
How about the first one? Is the first one more kind of less say defense commitments and affiliations,
Yeah.
Should be reviewed.
Yeah.
So. That would be perhaps closer to what you're thinking.
Well, I think these all make the same thing. I do think commitment. Yes, I think that should be there, and I think we should shift support to UN peacekeeping missions. And I do think we should put the UN responsibilities ahead of those.
But do you think we should remain with NATO and the Red at the same time?
I'm not too keen. I don't think we need to. I think we should just go back to what they were. They're on paper. They exist on paper and nothing more. I don't. I think the key for me is to put in the UN work on the United Nations.
Okay. Do you have a party policy with the Green Party, or is this just your thinking right now?
Well, the Green Party wants
to be in NATO,
to shift all our resources. No, we don't want to necessarily be in NATO. We want to shift our resources to the United Nations peacekeeping roles, and we want to end NATO missions.
So does it mean withdraw from NATO?
It doesn't specifically. I think most we want to re-examine what NATO is. The same with NAFTA. We want to
defense commitments and affiliations should be reviewed.
There we go. We'll make it out.
That's what you're saying. There's another question here about the budget, military budget.
Sure. Yeah, no, I like this one.
So you're choosing the number one, which is gradually shift defense budget to firefighting, disaster relief, Coast Guard, search and rescue, etc., etc., UN peacekeeping, conflict resolution missions, etc.
Oh yeah, that's the Green Party's view as well. We want to see UN peacekeeping, but we think that Canada has a better role in setting up a disaster response forces. That's what the world needs right now. We need peacekeeping, we need peacekeeping forces, but we need to be able to respond quickly when disasters happen, especially with global warming increasing. We don't know where the next storm's going to hit, and we have to be careful. We have to prepare for that. Free trade agreement.
Free trade agreements. There was a big debate in a few elections back between free trade agreements and abrogation, and sometimes the Liberals were against, the Conservatives were for. What is the position of the Green Party and free trade agreements?
Well, the Green Party wants fair trade agreements. We want to get the water out of there. We want to make sure our resources are protected from it. So we've said we would submit notice, and I'll put that on there. Submit notice of cancellation.
But you would like to review also.
Yeah, we would like to review. We would like to review. We would submit notice in the purpose of reviewing some of the chapters.
So you want to rephrase maybe that?
Sure.
That at the end you want to rephrase because
why don't we rephrase
it's
that?
Not exactly cancel it, abrogate it, and you want to review some of the chapters.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. So you add that one, a new one, and you're voting for that one.
Oh, I'm voting for that one.
All right. There is another trade regulation, which is the latest one, the North American Security and Prosperity Partners. And then you're choosing the number one, which is I reject North American Security and Prosperity as an initiative which transfers government responsibilities to business appointees. That's the one you have chosen.
Yeah, I'm going to reject it right off the bat.
Dan, I thank you very much for the extended time that you have given us
wonderful.
for our polls. I wish the Liberals and the NDP would have had the same time. They were very brief, 10 minutes time, and we couldn't talk to them about many issues.